Hey there, coders. Today I want to teach you about a concept called variables. Variables are really powerful in coding. They allow us to make our programs more dynamic. And by dynamic, I mean a program that changes depending on the information that it's given. It's not static, it's not the same every time. I think a really good way to demonstrate this in a language arts context is to use something like a Mad-Lib. You've probably been heard of a Mad-Lib before. It's where people give you a couple of different words and then you fill those words into a paragraph or a sentence. So let's go ahead and let's just create our own little Mad-Lib using variables. So I'm going to start off with my Scratch Cat as my teacher over here. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and just plan this out at the beginning, right? So my purpose here is going to be to create a short Mad-Lib. All right, so really simple purpose here. First, I'm going to start off by greeting the user, greeting the learner, and then I'm going to say, let's play Mad-Lib. Let's play Mad-Lib, and then I'm going to ask for a noun, a verb, and an adjective. And I think I'll do that one at a time using the ask block that we've learned about before. Once they've done that, I'll say, great, I have all I need. Here's the Mad-Lib. And that's it. Then we'll just keep it really simple as we do this. So we're going to go ahead and start by greeting the learner. So I'm going to go to events and grab the when the green flag is clicked. And I'll go to looks and I'll say something like, hello. And after that, I'll follow it up by say, let's play a Mad-Lib game. Leave those up kind of quick. Hello, I think I'll just say for 1 second. Let's test that. Hello, let's play a Mad-Lib game. Great, now I need to ask for those three things. So if I go to sensing and I ask, what is a noun? Or give me a noun, how about that? Give me a noun. And then I'm just gonna copy that. I'm gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna say, give me a noun, give me a verb. Oops, give me a verb. I need to actually do that over here. Give me a verb. And actually, let's make that big, in all caps, so it's clear what word is changing as we're asking for these things. Give me a verb. Give me a noun. And the last one I said, an adjective. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add a comment. No, that's not what I want there. I'm just going to duplicate this. And then on this last one, I'll just say, give me an adjective. Give me an adjective. Okay, once I've gotten all of that information, I'm just going to go ahead and say, great. Great. Make that. I have all I need. Here's the Mad-Lib. And we'll let that go for 3 seconds. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say something like, this morning I took and I want to put my noun in here, right? Well, the noun right now, we can think of this as we just asked 3 questions. If you remember in the past, when we ask a question, we can get the answer in this variable that's built into the system right under ask called answer, right? Now, if I just put that in here, that's going to overwrite what I've written there. So if you'll remember from past videos, if we want to put words together, we go to operators and we grab the join block, and the join allows us to put words or strings of letters together. And in this case, I'll just take what I wrote here and say, this morning I took and I'll put answer, and actually let's put another join so we put some words after answer. I'll say to school. I'll put that right in there. And then I'm going to say something, I'm going to duplicate that and say something like, it started to whatever my verb was, okay? It started to, and then the verb also came from asking, so maybe that's in my answer. And then I'm going to add one more comment. I apologize. I'm going to duplicate this, add one more say block. And in this one, I want to say something like, It was the most adjective thing. So we'll go to sensing, grab answer, put adjective in there, and we need to put some words after it. So we'll grab another join. I'm going to put those together. And we'll say thing I'd ever seen. Now we'll go ahead and do this, right? So let's play the game really quick. If I click on it, the cat says, hello, let's play a Mad-Lib game. Give me a noun. So I'll say something like a toothbrush. Okay. Give me a verb. I'm going to say vomit. And an adjective. I'm going to say awesome. Great. I have all I need. Here's the Mad-Lib. This morning I took a awesome to school. It started to awesome. It was the most awesome thing I'd ever seen. That's not quite what I wanted, right? I wanted to put the noun in the first sentence, the verb in the second, and the adjective in the last. All I got was the adjective. Think about that for a minute. Why is that? Well, I asked 3 questions, and each time the user answered me, that question was stored in the answer. But the problem is every time I ask a new question, the answer gets overwritten with whatever the new value is. So answer is this variable that comes built into Scratch, which holds some value, but that value changes, which is why it's called a variable. The problem is I need to store the earlier answer so that I don't lose it every time I answer some sort of ask or a question. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to create my own variables instead of using the built-in ones that I can store this information in. The way that we do that is if you go to the bottom, you'll see a category called variables. And under variables, we have this button at the very top that says make a variable. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to make a new variable, and I'm just actually going to call this one noun. I'm going to make that all caps. Noun. And I'll go ahead and leave that for all sprites and say okay. And I'm going to do that for my other 2 variables. Notice it appears on my stage right there, and it says 0 because that's the default value. It hasn't assigned a value yet, so it defaults to 0. If I click the checkbox that's by my new variable that just appeared under here, it'll show it on the stage or hide it on the stage. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make another variable. I'm going to call this one my verb, and I'm going to leave it for all sprites. I only have 1 sprite anyway. And the last time, they create a default variable called my variable. If you right click, you can just rename this variable that already exists. I'm going to go ahead and do that and just call this one adjective. So now I have this adjective, noun, and verb. I'm going to click all of them so we can see them on our screen as my cat is talking. That's useful to me as I do this. Well, what I want to do is after I say give me a noun, I want to go ahead and take that noun and put it in its own box. Variables are kind of like boxes. They just store a piece of information. So over and underneath these new variables that were created for us, you can see there are some other blocks of code. There's set code and change code. And then we can show and hide the variable, which is kind of like what these checkboxes do. What I want to do is I'm going to set, instead of adjective, I'm going to set noun to the answer right after they give me that first answer. And then I'm going to do the same thing. If I go back to variables, I'm going to set verb to whatever the verb is right after the person has answered. And that's when answer is still verb. Once I ask another question and somebody types in a new answer, that overwrites the former value of answer. And then give me an adjective and wait at the end. Technically, I don't need to put this in a new variable, but I'm going to do it just for the sake of practice. I'm going to say give me an adjective. We're going to set adjective to whatever our answer is. And now when the cat talks, instead of saying this morning I took an answer to school, I'm going to grab that answer, throw it away over here, go to variables, grab my noun, and I'm going to say this morning I took a noun to school. It doesn't matter what the noun is to the computer just knows I'm going to take noun and put it right here. And this is the power of variables. The name of the variable never changes. That way we can refer to it all the time in our code. But the value that the user gives it can change, and that changes the whole experience for the learner on their end of things. So we're going to say it started to, I'm going to grab that verb and put that right there. And then it was the most answer thing I'd ever seen. I'm going to replace that answer with adjective. And now you can see how I've built out this sentence. This morning I took a noun to school. It started to, verb. It was the most adjective thing I'd ever seen. I'm going to run this again. The cat says, hello, let's play a Mad-Lib game. And you'll notice initially all of these variables are set to 0, so they haven't gotten any values yet. I'll say give me a noun. This time I'll say something like, I took my father to school. Okay, then I'm going to say give a verb. We'll say sleep. And adjective, I'll say embarrassing. And now, cat says, great, I have all I need. Here's the Mad-Lib. This morning I took a father to school. It started to sleep. It was the most embarrassing thing I'd ever seen. And this is how we can use variables. It allows us to create this dynamic experience by taking one value and holding on to it. If in your coding you've ever found yourself wanting to use a value in multiple parts of your code, that's a really good indicator that you should be using a variable there. So that's what we're going to do as we have go ahead and created variables. Go out there and see how you might be able to use variables in your own code and in your own projects that you create for your class. Thanks.